Morning, everyone. So I just want to make a quick video to go over this whole liquidity pool thing. I know it's pretty mysterious to a lot of people. Um, People want to try to help the wool liquidity pool to strengthen it. Um, there's ways to make money off of this. You could play this purely if you're long on wool. You could just buy a bunch of wool and just support the liquidity pool, collect fees that way. So I'll kind of go over some of the basics of what this is, how to kind of look at it if you're going to add some to support the project, how to look at it if you want to add some to make money. Oh crap, my battery. Let me go jump on a charger. 1 second. All right. So you just come to normal Uniswap here. Normally we're on the pool, or we're on the swap. We're going to go to the pool here. We're going to create a new position. We're going to select our token pair, which is ETH and wool. You have to add it if it isn't there. And essentially, this is kind of like your little configuration page to create your position. A position is all really just you actually get like an NFT in OpenSea, but it's really just like where you want to add your liquidity. And liquidity is just your money, your ETH, your wool, whatever it is, your currency that you're going to be contributing to some market. So I usually flip this just because it's more intuitive for me. But when you land here, this middle line is the current price. Current price is 0.068. So then I flip this because it's more intuitive to me. So now current price middle still, but we're increasing in price as we go to the right, and we're decreasing in price as we go to the left. And that just makes more sense to me. And then it's pricing it in ETH per wool. I don't know why they do that because you can't even really see it. So, but just understand that I'd say the current price is 0.068, and we're adding liquidity to this in relatively equal pairs. Basically, what it's saying is if I'm going to add, let's say, wool and ETH right now with this setting, this is my range, negative 36 to positive 34, then my wool will be added from the current price up to this top end, which some quick math here, you can just multiply it. So all my wool will be sold out there at 0.091. So by the time, if we're having a lot of buys and I've added wool, as its price is increasing, the algorithm will automatically start selling off all my wool. Once I get to 35%, I'll be completely sold out of wool and I'll just have a stack of ETH. So I'll have my original ETH and then I'll have the ETH that I got from selling my wool. And I'll be out of range. I won't be collecting fees. You only collect fees when you're in your range here. So then as the price starts dropping, let's say people start selling wool again, then I have a stack of ETH. It starts automatically buying that wool the same way it sold it off, unless as it rose and it got out of my range and I had a stack of ETH. If I was watching it and I went and claimed that ETH, then sold all my wool and there you go, you got all your ETH. But if you stayed in the pool, kept your position, and the price dropped, and you did this, just maybe you set it and you left it for a couple weeks or something, the price could go in and out of your range, and it's just going to automatically start buying and selling with what you have. Let's say you add it and the price starts dropping, so a bunch of people are starting to sell. So that ETH you added will get distributed over the course of this little range. So from current price down to negative 36, so current price 0.068 times whatever that is, hard math. What is that, 50, no, 60 something? 4 maybe? Yeah, like 4 cents. So as we start dropping in price, it's going to use my ETH and it's going to start buying all the wool that's being sold. Same thing, if the price dips below my range, then I will be all out of ETH. I'll have a stack of wool, my original wool, and then I'll have bought whatever wool I could buy with the ETH that I contributed initially. And then if the price starts rising again, then it'll automatically start selling off my wool again. So that's how you collect fees. You get a portion of every transaction. The most ideal scenario, if you're in it to make money, you add ETH and wool, and then you pick a fairly tight range, and you don't want to be competing with all this liquidity over here, right? So maybe you would add more on this side of things because as you add ETH over here, you're going to start owning more of this real estate because there's not a lot of liquidity over here. So you're going to collect a bigger portion of the fees that happen. And so the most ideal scenario is that the price action stays in your range. So maybe it kind of goes sideways, right? And there's a lot of volume. So a lot of volume, a lot of transactions, a lot of fees for you. It doesn't ever leave your range. That's great. The this whole impermanent loss thing is, like I said, if it's dropping in price, it's selling off, and you're buying all that wool that's being sold off, it drops out. Now all your ETH is gone, right? That's impermanent, it's not permanent. So if the price were to rise again, then you would start selling off that, or you would start selling off the wool that you've accumulated. So it's not permanent. The only way it's permanent is if it drops out of your range down here, you have a stack of wool, and then you decide to claim it all, and then you have all that wool. And if you're long on the project, that could be a good thing because you bought it for fairly cheap as the price was dropping. So same thing happens on the top end there. Now, if we want to support wool itself, we want to make this a little bit healthier, try to increase the price, then there's a couple things we can do. If we're looking at this range right here, there's a ton of liquidity, a ton of wool specifically, because if people are adding, they generally add more wool than ETH because a lot of people are illiquid, they don't have a lot of ETH. And you can just see here, there's just a lot of liquidity up here. So as the price is rising, it's got to chew through all this, right? All this has to get bought up. All this has to get bought up. So there's a lot more stuff that has to get bought up, a lot more wool that has to get bought up than there is over here supporting the price. So one way, you could just put out a message through Discord or something, and just anybody that has liquidity, tell them to pull the liquidity, and then people could start buying it. That would cause the price to rise quickly because let's say this was the liquidity all the way across, right? So buys would increase the price really quickly relative to what they would do now. And then once you got it to some range that, the project felt was good, like 15 cents, we've been there for a long time. We've, floated in that range at the beginning of the project and through various phases. Let's say you get it back to 15 cents or even higher, drive it to 20 cents, then you can have a bunch of people add a ton of ETH under that, and that will support the price. The only risk there is that you may have a bunch of whales that decide to sell off and then collect all that ETH that people added under the price to support it. But if this is a big collective across the project, there's a bunch of OGs that are willing to do this together and the whales are in on it, I think it could definitely be a good strategy. But right now I know that people want to support the project, but they don't really understand how this kind of works. So if you have people that are adding more wool than ETH, then all we're going to do is build this mountain that we have to climb up and chew through as the price rises. And ideally, it's equal distribution, or we just have more ETH supporting the current price if we don't want it to drop. So you can see as we're selling off wool here, there's just not a lot of support here. So selling of wool right now currently cause the price to drop faster than buys of equal value, or of equal sizes, I should say. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'll answer them. I can make another quick video on something if I miss something, but yeah, just shoot me a message on Twitter or at me or something. You can add me on Discord. I'm idling too, but I'll be busy throughout the day. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know.